Israeli airstrikes have killed at least 60 people across Gaza a day after Trump called to make the deal in Gaza, get the hostages back, and combat operations all too familiar after nearly 2 years of unmitigated violence. And according to Reuters, Israel's Strategic Affairs Minister Ron Dermer is traveling to Washington for talks on Iran and Gaza, which would account for the heightened bombing campaign over the weekend as Israel's fundamental military Da'iya doctrine, the collective punishment of civilians in order to assert diplomatic pressure, continues unabated. So Dermer is expected to hold meetings with the Trump administration officials on Tuesday, according to this Reuters report. And alongside the Gaza ceasefire discussions, Dermer also plans to discuss the possibility of Netanyahu visiting D.C. in the coming weeks, most likely to shore up political support now that his long-standing corruption trial has been postponed due to continuity and security issues regarding the Gaza negotiations and the simmering conflict with Iran. And the prospect that anything can be achieved on these matters is remote as daily fighting continues across the enclave. And despite Israel's degrading image on the world stage, the fundamental diplomatic issues remain. A Hamas official said that progress depends on Israel changing its long-standing position that the Israeli military remain in Gaza after the end of the war and Hamas disband and dismantle. Hamas, of course, refuses to lay down arms. So Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Saar said Israel has agreed to a U.S. proposed 60-day ceasefire and hostage deal and has put the onus on Hamas. He told reporters, quote, Israel is serious in its will to reach a hostage deal and a ceasefire in Gaza, unquote. So more smoke and mirrors to extend further political cover to Netanyahu government as it continues with its plan to devastate the enclave to the point where Gazans will elect voluntary migration. While the prominent politicians such as Australian Foreign Minister Bette Reichschlager, declared that the suffering of civilians is increasingly burdening Israel's relationship with Europe and a ceasefire must be agreed upon, no tangible political pressure has been put on the rogue state to end the killing. So one gleam of hope for the Palestinians comes from Israel's military failure in its engagement with Iran over the 12-day war. Its regional military impunity was checked, and it's difficult to overstate how damaging this was to Israel's deterrence capacity, which the state relies on as a pillar of its security posture. So Israel's position is deceptively weak despite the moderately successful U.S. diplomatic efforts to push for a pan-Arab normalization with the Zionist state, but it's not going well for anybody in the region. So check us out on State of Play on MintPress News tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard for a deep dive into all this. So it's going to be on YouTube, Twitter, all streaming platforms. Hope to see you there.